The stream is live. Okay.
We are live. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to Live, Learn, Let Go. My name is Jessica, your hostess. And here today I have with me a new friend of mine, Brenden. How are you, Brenden?
Doing great. This is cool.
You
Thanks for having
are.
me, Jess.
Yes, this is awesome. You are all the way up in Fresno, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And you took a nice little road trip all the way down to San Diego, California to compete in Survivor San Diego. And we just so happened to end up on the same tribe, the Simfola tribe. And we made a final two, and now we're besties for the resties, and we're here to talk about it all. I'm so excited.
Me
So,
too. It's
how
so cool.
long did that drive take you?
Oh, let's see. Well, that particular when I came down, it was only 2 hours. So I'm originally from Riverside,
Hmm.
California. So not super far, about an hour and a half from San Diego. And I had actually just gotten back. I was traveling. I was in India, and so I had
Oh, wow.
landed like the day before, and then stayed at my family's house in Riverside, and then came down to play some Survivor, and then the next day made I think a 5.5 or so hour drive back up to
Oh,
Fresno.
okay. So you
So
flew and then drove back. Okay, that wasn't
hmm
too bad.
yeah,
Not so bad, yeah. So how did you find out about Survivor San Diego?
yeah. So I found out about Survivor San Diego honestly through like Instagram, through social media. Some of my friends who it was actually the like Survivor, just not not Survivor SD like the LRG that we played in, but just the San Diego fandom of Survive the CBS show Survivor.
Yeah.
I got introduced into this whole world through them, and so they're posting on their social medias having played, and so just a lot of people who like I had met and people who I wanted to play with and play against, and I had played in my first live reality game, and so I just wanted to play more, and it looked fun, and James was a great host, so uh, I was honored to get to play in a great
That's
game.
awesome. And was that your first LRG you've ever played?
It was my second. It was my
Second.
second.
Okay, that's awesome. How was the first one that you played? I know we talked about it a little bit already, but go ahead and refresh everybody.
Yeah, no, the first one was super cool. It was up actually near the Central Valley where I currently live, and it was super fun. It was a blood versus water season.
Oh.
So I'm the big Survivor nerd and fan, and my younger sister, I call her I call her a hippie all the time. She's just, just the chill vibes one. I'm the nerd strategist, and she's the hippie one. And I was like, she's never seen Survivor. I was like, Jordan, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
It's like my dream to play one of these games. Like, will you do it with me? And she's like, yeah, what the heck? Of course. And then she went further than me. She made it to the jury, and I was like
Oh,
the third boot. But
oh
it was
man.
a blast. I got to play, and she beat me, but whatever.
Yes. And so you were third boot on that one, on your first one. Weren't you
Mhm.
third boot on this one as well?
No, Jess, I was the fourth boot.
Fourth. I thought I was fourth.
No, you were fifth.
I was fifth. Okay. So we one upped it. There we go.
We did.
My first LRG, I was fourth. And then, yeah, there we go. We both had beaten one more place. I think we both would have made it a little bit farther in the game if we did not have to endure so many tribal councils back to back.
Yeah.
4 in a row. That was so brutal. But let's talk about when you first got there. What was your initial reaction when you first stepped onto the beach and you saw all your other competitors? Was there anybody you initially first vibed with that you never got to work with? How were you feeling when you first stepped on the beach as a castaway?
Yeah, I was excited. I was also nervous. Like
Yeah.
there's a real, I had my second allergy, and so there's a real layer of people lie to you, people backstab you. You know what I mean? Like you get a little bit of like PTSD from your first time, and so I'm just nervous, but also excited. I'm a social butterfly, and so I was excited to meet a bunch of new people, but nervous because I am passionate. Like I want to win, and I don't want to get lied to, but yet I set myself up for these games that are kind of about lying and bluffing and deception. But anyways, I was excited to just meet a bunch of people and was having a good time connecting. There was one person who I was connecting with in some of those like early chats who I never got to play with. Oh shoot, I'm trying to remember his name right now. oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. I feel so bad now. We never gonna play together. But he seemed like a cool guy. He ended up going far, but what about him? He told me, he's like, dude, I just went to the World Cup yesterday, and I was like, what the heck? And so he was like a little older than me guy, but he seemed really cool. I never got to work with him. So.
There was several people I never got to work with either, but I was glad we were able to make a laugh and able to talk to everybody though in the beginning. It was really nice. So then we get introduced into our tribes. And we get put onto the Synthola tribe together. Yes. Do you remember all of our other tribe names?
Yeah.
Okay. So
we had Joseph.
Yep.
And Alicia.
Yep.
And Hasmin and Nico.
Yep. I was calling her Jasmine the whole day. I feel so bad now that I know that she said her name completely different. Oops. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I must not have heard her say her name that way. Oops. But yeah, so when you first got paired into all of the tribes, what was your initial reaction when we all got paired together?
I was excited. I really liked in some of the pre-conversations, I liked your energy. And so I was like stoked to be able to land with you. I actually was like, this Jessica's giving me like kind of like Suri vibes almost, like from Survivor, of someone who's just very like, I'm like, she could play the social card well, which you did really well. You brought the hype and the karaoke machine and the booze, and it was a good time with that. So yeah, and then Joseph, I actually recognized Joseph because he puts on some Survivor games. And so my brain was like, oh, I know who he, and like, yeah, I had applied to his game, and so I know we recognize each other, so that was cool. Like, oh, okay, and so I was excited to work with him, and yeah, it was a fun time.
It was so much fun, and then we get to our first challenge. Oh my goodness gracious! I think this challenge took like an hour. And they weren't expecting it to. But there was a 3-part challenge. So the very first part of the challenge was I call it the blanket carry. I don't know what else to call it. But it was me, you, and Joseph carrying Alicia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Alicia or Alicia? Should say Alicia. Okay, thanks. So like, I'm so bad at saying names. And we had to carry her to 3 stacks of cones, 3 separate times, and bring back the sticks to go with it. And then she had to build the what's it called? I'm like trying to piece together. Like my brain can think it, but I can't explain it. She had to make with the sticks a hook to get the basket or to get the bag of the puzzles that Nico and Jazz had to then put together. Man, when we had to take off in that blanket, I was in the backside part. You and Joseph were kind of on the sides, and you both took off so fast that I almost flung into that blanket with Alicia. I was like, oh my gosh. It took me a second to keep up because I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that. But we were one of the first teams that retrieved all 3 and came back right away. But then I think Alicia struggled a little tiny bit getting the hook together, but then Nico and Jazz really struggled on that puzzle. That puzzle at the end was so challenging. It looked like gibberish. There was no way that I could even I was like, thank gosh I didn't do puzzle because I was not going to get it. What are some of your thoughts and feelings on that first challenge?
Yeah, I mean, in Survivor, like, puzzles are the great equalizer, and so you're either the hero if you can do it, or you're an easy target if you can't. And so it's always like tricky because when you get in those, you're strategizing who's going to do what. Like, you want to contribute your strengths, but it's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean, to do that. And there's a part of me, especially because we didn't finish the challenge, that felt bad for Nico and Hasmin, who signed up to do the puzzle. Like, just easy booze. We don't know what to go off of, and like us 4 that had done that, the carrying heavy part of the challenge, we had kind of bonded through that as well. And so it was just kind of, a crummy circumstance, that we ended up not pulling out and winning that particular challenge. But yeah, that's a hard part of this game. I've played in 2 LRGs and I've never won a challenge, and it's like,
Yeah, it
oh,
is
it's like
really,
so
really
disheartening.
Oh my goodness. So then we go to tribal council and we vote out Jazz first. We all kind of just decided that she was the stronger player and might as well take the target of the stronger player instead of getting a weaker one out. I don't know if keeping Jazz would have been better, or if you know what I mean, now looking back on the game, but getting into that second challenge, is this the pudding one? I'm trying to remember. Is this the one where you had to eat the horseradish pudding?
Yes, it was wonderful. I ate it, and we still had to go to tribal.
Yeah, you ate it so proudly, no hesitation. And then the next part was 3 people had to be counters, and that was me, Nico, and Alicia. We went and we did the counting thing. You had to go and count several different items, and then it was a algebra puzzle, not algebra puzzle, but an algebra like equation that we had to solve based off of how many items there were. And at that point, we just couldn't get past the algebra equation to get to the next point whatsoever, and it was a double elimination. So then we ended up going to tribal council again. And at that point, we all decided to mutually vote out Nico. Unfortunately, but
yeah, it was hard too. It was an interesting situation, right? Because again, you want to go off of your strengths. So I felt like a gross eating challenge, that's just not for the faint of heart, and I have a strong stomach, and so I was like, that's how I can best serve my tribe in this role. But I also have a math degree, so math is my skill set, and so I wanted to help with that, but then that would have meant someone had to eat the gross food, and so it was tricky because like I felt like I was strong in both, but couldn't do both for my tribe, and so that was a bummer too. And then Nico's a sweetheart, and so it was a bummer getting him out too.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do that.
I did not. No, it was really sad. Every time we had to go and like writing someone's name down, you're just like, oh, it's like takes like a stab to your heart, even though it's part of the game and you signed up to do it. It's not the easy thing when it comes down to actually doing it, because then you actually have to question whether or not it's the right move. And these games move super quickly.
Yeah, of course.
So challenge number 3. This was the wig grab challenge. How did you feel about that one? So this one, they put us in a circle with someone on the opposing team, and we were wearing a wig, and we had to grab the wig off the other person's head without being physically violent, obviously. Just a quick grab, put it down on the ground. Whoever wig from the other team hit the floor, not the floor, the sand first, that is who won the point. We did get some points, but we didn't win that challenge either. How did you feel about that one?
Disheartened.
Yeah.
Hate losing.
I mean, I was happy about it because I actually got a point for the team. I was like, yes, I got a point, you know?
You did good.
And I was like super confident in it too.
I lost in my duel to the eventual winner of our season. So if there's anything there, I went up against the winner.
You were brave. You were very brave. Then we went to tribal council again. And at this point, who did we vote out now?
We voted out Brenden. This is the one that Brenden went home because this was after the tribe swap.
Oh, it was after the tribe swap. Okay, there we go. I was like, wait a second. So then we went to tribe swap. That's when we did this. See, my brain's like, it was so long ago. How do we keep up? It really was not that long ago. So then Brenden, did you see anybody, like, did you know it was coming for them voting you out?
I think towards the end, my gut was, was telling me that I think it was getting turned on me. We found ourselves you and I found ourselves in a really cool position because there was 2 people from our tribe, and I think 2 from another one, and then 3 from the blue tribe, and then 3 from the other. So if you look at it from a numbers perspective, if we teamed up with the other 2, that's 4 on 3. We have the advantage. Or we could have kept going with the 3 and decided to work with them and take out the two. And so we
That's
found ourselves in the
smart.
middle, and people were coming
Yeah.
to us like it was the middle.
Yeah.
And so that was a cool position to be in. But if you've seen like the main show of Survivor in Cagayan, which a lot of season 20, a lot of people say is like one of the best seasons, best all newbie cast.
Yeah.
Sarah Lucina, who would eventually go on to win in that season, was playing the middle a little too hard and ended up both sides just didn't like that she was playing the middle so much, and they just turned and voted on her. And I think that's what happened to me.
I think so.
Was I was trying to play the middle a little bit too much, and ultimately, I mean, you and I were on the same page, and our relationships were good. I think some people who've played games, any of these LRG games with me, is like, man, I'm loyal to my people, like I'm loyal to my alliance. But if you know anything about me, like that big heart is boisterous, and like I can be loud and directive, and in my daily life, like I'm a teacher, a pastor, I do all these things, so like. I can be directive, and I think I was a little off-putting, and people were like, "What's going on?" And then they ended up turning on me, not necessarily because they relationally didn't want to work with me, but just it was a little too early, a little too fast, and so that was my downfall. And then unfortunately, what I think ended up happening is because you and I were closely aligned. Like you were just on the Brenden, kind of an easy boot the next go.
Yeah.
Which
and I also didn't
feel
do
bad
as
about.
great in the challenge either. I struggled in my part of the challenge, and we never made it to the last part of the challenge. So that's why I think I also got it. But I also think they clocked that we were working very close together, and that also was another reason why they're like, "Yeah, she's got to go."
Which I guess in hindsight, now we're talking about it too. Like we probably I really do look at that, and we were in the power position, and I think if we would have not shown that we were as close and let the game kind of come to us, because we had a guy from that purple group immediately come to you and I with a plan. You know what I mean? If we would have just stayed chill, you know what I mean? Like that's my thing. Like I think it could have worked. So but it's okay. I had a great time. It was a great cast. It was a good learning opportunity, and hopefully in the future we get to run it back and have a good time. So.
But when you were voted out, let's talk about at Tribal Council, because everybody started clapping for you, and you had a moment where you're like, "Don't clap for me." Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Sure. Yeah, I find that interesting. Just for me, like I'm very competitive, and I'm a good sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like win or lose, like I mean we're still talking to each other. I love all the people that I got to play with, and like zero hard feelings. It's just a game. You know what I mean? Like it's not that deep. But on the same token, like I'm here to win. I'm giving my weekend. I'm giving my money. You know what I mean? Like I spent more money than I could have won. To get the whole get up and just like to get into it, and the gas money, all that stuff. So like. It sucks to get lied to and voted out. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel good. And so then to me, if they're clapping for me, it's like, why are you clapping for me? You just voted me out.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, clap for yourself, because you guys made the game move and you're still there and I'm out of the game. Don't clap for me and give me that like petty pity clap. Does that make sense? Like notice too, when I voted people out, I didn't clap for any of them, right? Not because I don't care about them, but I'm not gonna clap and like rub it in your face. I just voted you out. Oh, like I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. So I may be a little unique in that. That's not necessarily like,
because I don't think in any of our tribal councils, I don't think that we clapped when we voted people out. So I think that was the first time that happened. Yeah.
No, I get it, and it's not. I know that they're. I don't think they're thinking of it that deep. I think it's from a hey, like an endearing way, like hey, we love you. We had to do this. Like, we still love and care about you as a person. And honestly, that's one of the things I really enjoy about this LRG world and community. Like it's very just community oriented. And I had actually a really cool chat after that with one of our prod guys. We were having a good conversation, just like the beauty, especially post COVID, just how like everything, like our culture is so isolated. And so to get to like, get up off the couch and to get to spend a weekend doing this, meeting strangers from all different like worldviews and religions and sexualities and political leanings, and just play a fun game together from a show that we all really love and enjoy. That's a really cool and beautiful thing that like just just doesn't normally happen, and it's a sense of community. So going
Yeah.
back to it, when they're clapping for me, I know it's from hey, we love you, Brenden, we love your heart, like
But
you
in the
know, I'm
moment,
glad
that
you're here.
bitter cherry part of you're like, oh, you.
So like I it wasn't personal, but still,
Yeah.
don't clap for me. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm clapping for you right now because you
Thank
played
you.
such a great game, and it was such an honor being in a final 2 with you.
Yes.
Even though we did not make it past 4 and 5.
Anytime, Jeff.
It was so much fun. But I do want to talk about the one moment in the game when we were going to tribal council number 2. When I dared you to sing a karaoke song. Were you hesitant at all, or were you just like, let me do it?
I mean, a little bit, you know. I think I'm a very confident person, you know, but and we all got our insecurities, you know what I mean? But
Right.
like, no, I mean, we were bringing the energy. We were having a fun time. You brought a karaoke machine. I'm good at, you know, just. I'm an extrovert, so I can get outside myself and you know I can be a little. It's okay if I get a little embarrassed, you know what I mean? So
I don't think you embarrassed yourself whatsoever. I think it was just the cutest thing because you're like, come on, San Diego. And we look over and there's this little kid dancing along with the music. And then we're looking at the other tribes and they just don't care. We're like, whatever. We just keep having so much fun. I'm glad we did that though, because I feel like that was like a highlight of the game for us, you know, in our downtime, just kind of making that memory together. And our bonus tribe member, do you remember the pig?
Oh yes, bacon, right? Or Mabel or whatever. I was calling the pig bacon. There was a pig.
It was too. I was calling Wilbur for a second. But yeah, we had this little pig that kept coming over to our tribe. He was just so cute. His name was Mabel, and we adopted him as a bonus tribe member. And it was a lot of fun. And I hope we get to play together in another LRG in the future.
Yes, I'm sure it'll come. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Like we'll have to like plan it together, start applying for all these LRGs of the same one, so that way hopefully we get casted on them.
Yeah. I think for me, I think I am trying to take a little bit of a break right now. You know what I mean? Like I played a lot, and then I played an online game recently, and man, all was fun, and like I'm honored to get to like be a part of it. But I'm also like, all right, you know, like I got bills to pay, you know, like plus, you know, maybe some time decompressing, right? We see it with like Survivor. I'm sure I'm new into Big Brother, but I'm sure this exists in Big Brother. Like people who come back in return, like the longer gap that you have in between playing your seasons, I think the better that you do because you have more time to reflect. I think I have like barely a 2-month in between my first LRG to Survivor SD. And so it wasn't a ton of time to like reflect and get better enough, but not. So we'll see, you know, we'll see what, you know, God has in store or whatever. But like, you know, it may be, I may be taking a little bit of a break, you know.
Well, when you're ready to get started again, we'll plan it and we'll get into cahoots and hopefully get on a cast together because you're not that far. You know, you took the drive. I'm willing to take the drive so that way we can end up on a tribe again together. That'd be fun. Or even just play in the same cast, even if we didn't get to work together. All right. But what I do want to know is a little bit about Brenden behind the microphone, behind the buff, behind the big-hearted Brenden that you are. So we're going to take it back high school. We're going to play 20 questions. We're going to get to know you a little bit. You have the choice of starting with easy icebreakers, medium level questions, deeper and more tricky questions, or some bonus fire rapid fun questions.
Just sprinkle them all in. I'll take whatever. Give me a little bit of like a variety. Well,
since we were talking about money just so recent ago, if you won $1 million, what was the first thing you would do tomorrow?
Yeah, I'd pay off all my debt.
Just there you go.
Knock it out. Pay off all my debt. Invest into a bunch of things. I'd give. I'd love to have more money, to be more generous with more money. So I'd love to, you know, give to my church and to other things and people in need. And then what else? Yeah, I'd buy some probably cool things. Buy like Super Bowl tickets for next year. I don't know. I'd have fun with it. Shoot. Yeah, it'd be good. Put a down payment on a house.
Right. Buy your first house, buy a nice
set
car.
myself up. Yeah.
If money wasn't a factor, what would you spend your life doing?
Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's hard. Like that question is almost like, you know how like when you like watch Netflix, like sometimes it's really hard to pick a movie because there's so many options.
Yeah.
There's like I have so much passion and ambitions. It's not even funny. Like, I mean, like my faith is a big important thing to me. So I definitely something, where I get to just give the hope to people, and like I love to travel and adventure and like meet new people from a bunch of places. And so like if money wasn't an object, I'd get to travel more. I get to go on, like explore and yeah, just like impact people's lives. Those are things that like get me really excited. But yeah, I'd do all sorts of different things. Like honestly, I'd probably get lost like of all the things I'd like to do. So
Especially with that much money, you just be like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
First thing I'm doing is hiring a financial advisor.
Yeah.
I'm not good with money, and if I had that much money, I would have to be careful. Let's go to a couple easy ones. What's your favorite color?
Ooh, I'd say honestly like orange, but like I like this pinkish orange thing going on. I really like the Survivor SD logo because of the sunset,
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot too. Mine is pink and then like bluish with green, like kind of a little bit of both.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
Oh man, carbohydrates. I was just saying about this. Honestly, I like a lot of foods. You know what I mean? But I think my favorite food type, I just love like any Mediterranean food. I think it's just a good balance. Like I just had that for lunch today, so a good balance of like meat and carbs and and veggies. So I love the flavors and the all mixed together. So yeah, give me some gyro meat and some pita and hummus. Ooh,
yum!
It's good time.
I wonder if this will be the same answer. What is your go-to comfort food?
Man, like Jack in the Box. It's not a good answer, but
no, that's an amazing answer. I love that.
Like sriracha curly fried burger, the munchie meal.
There you go.
Yeah.
That I love me some tacos from Jack in the Box. So I'm right there with you. And do they still have the mozzarella sticks, or did they take them off the menu?
Oh, they still got them.
Okay, and then my go-to is the 2 tacos, a large Diet Coke, or a shake, depending on my mood, either Oreo or chocolate, depends.
Yep.
And then I've got to get a 3-piece of the jalapenos, and then mozzarella sticks, and that's just my comfort. Sometimes fries, sometimes not, but I'm having a bad day. I feel you on the Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, all of the above.
Jack in the Crack is what I call it.
I love it. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, what is your favorite movie or TV show?
Oh, well, TV show. Survivor. Hands down. Love Survivor. And by extension, I've been getting into the Traitors and Big Brother.
I know. I got you on Big Brother.
A little bit, but I got to say, D and Devins being on Big Brother really helped.
I'm sure it helped. Yeah.
And special shout out to our prod from Survivor SD guy, James, not the host James, I think Dwyer. He put me on to Big Brother. And of course. But no, I love Survivor. Is my favorite TV show, hands down. And then favorite movie all time is La La Land. Have you seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen that.
I love
text
La
me
La
that.
Land.
I'm gonna watch it. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many movies. I love asking those questions because every time I get it, there's always either like, okay, I vibe and we have the same show in common, or I'm learning a new show or a new movie. And so I'm happy I asked that because I've never heard of La La Land.
Yeah, you should see it. Phenomenal.
What?
Don't get me started on that. We'll take the whole episode. Yeah.
When I see you in person, we'll go have a beer and you can talk to me all about it after I see it. Yes. Well, yeah. But you got to win a challenge first, so that way we can have that beer together.
Exactly.
Do you have any pets?
No.
No. Do you want any pets? Are you an animal guy?
I like animals. This is what I tell people when it comes to pets. I like to be like a pet uncle.
Yeah.
So, like my sister, she has a dog, and I love her dog. You know what I mean? And I love to play
Yeah.
with the dog, pet the dog, care for the dog. When I'm with the dog, I don't want to pick up the dog's poop. I don't want to like,
Yeah.
buy the dog food. Like that's your problem, Jordan. Like I'm I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like,
Love it.
yeah. I mean, in the future, Lord willing, if and when I get married and have a family, I'd love to have a family, dog or whatever, pets. But
Exactly.
right now, I'm okay.
You're
I'm
like,
okay.
I don't need it. um, what's one thing that most people don't know about you?
Hmm. It's a good question. Hmm. I think, you know what? I think sometimes people see my extroverted, kind of goofy side, and like a lot of that energy. Like I'm sure if you didn't notice, Jess, I'm high energy.
I
Um,
noticed.
and but also I think some like I'm very like I'm a very serious person as well,
Yeah.
and so like I can go back and forth pretty quick. Like I can go from this high energy, yeah, hoorah, like let's talk about like Survivor and Big Brother, and then and I'm sure it's gonna happen in the midst of this conversation, but like then okay, but let's talk brass tacks, like what's
Yeah.
really going on, you know what I mean, and let's get to the heart matters of things, and I'm very passionate about that as well, and so sometimes sometimes I think I'm perceived just as like a goofy extrovert. You know what I mean? But I am that, but I'm also very like serious and care about serious things and people, and I don't mess around in those things. Does that make sense? And I
It
think
does.
like you you can't really tell that just off the surface. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
even tying that into the Survivor game. I think it's part of like what got me in trouble is like, well, but if you guys would know me, like I'm all in. Like I'm serious about
Exactly.
working.
Yeah. There's a
You know what I
serious
mean?
side to me. It just takes a minute to get there.
Exactly. So I wish more people could see that.
Yeah.
And if you get to know me, you do get to see that, and I start talking about it. So
I love that. I definitely got a taste of that while we were on Survivor San Diego together, working together. I saw your serious side. I saw your goofy side. I saw your fun side. I saw your competitive side. I saw all the shades of Branden. And I'm glad we're doing this because now I'm getting to know a little bit more about you. But I have another tricky question. What
okay,
is your biggest fear?
going bold.
I love that. That is the cutest
Uh,
answer in the world because I actually think men have a more bigger fear of going bald than women do.
hmm,
My
that's probably
husband, my
true.
husband is terrified of going bald. He takes so much collagen. I'm like, are you peeing liquid collagen? Like, what the heck, bro? Because you take way too much. But no, he's just taking the regular dose a day. But no, you've got a full head of hair on there. I don't think you're gonna go
I
bald anytime
No,
soon.
I mean it's true. I'm a little afraid of that. Afraid of like snakes and sharks,
Yeah,
but no, I think, and those are more like surface things and things that are true, but also laughable.
yeah,
I think like bigger things, like I don't know, like well, hope to get married, and then I don't want to fail, fear of failing. I think those things like when I start to think about them, I can spiral a little bit. I'm like,
yeah,
those more of those deeper existential type things are really where the fear is.
yeah.
Fear
It's
of being
always good to have.
misunderstood, not liked.
Yeah, I feel like it's so easy to say you have just like one fear, but when you really truly sit with yourself and with your feelings, you're like, holy crap, I'm scared of a lot of shit. And
Yeah,
those fears often stop you from enjoying life so much.
yeah.
I feel like I've let my fears hold me back a lot. So I hope that a lot of people out there listening don't let their fears hold them back because it's not gonna, all it does is stop you from living life. Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Lizzie McGuire movie. Which one was that? Cinderella story, I think. I think. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. So speaking of failure, what's an accomplishment you're most proud of?
Hmm. Accomplishment I'm most proud
Mm-hmm.
of. It's a good question. I think don't know if this is like most proud, but this is like a recent thing. So I just actually just went back to school, started my master's program, like
That's
a dual
awesome.
master's. Yeah, like a dual master's like teaching
Congratulations.
credential.
That
Thank
is
you.
amazing. That is such an accomplishment. That's incredible.
Yeah,
What are you going
and
to
I
be
just finished my
studying?
first class like yesterday. So I'm proud of
Yay!
myself. Like I think this is it's one of those things of like I don't know when once you start doing like undergrad and you get to college and you're doing your master's, it's like I'm doing that for me. Like high school, it's like okay, like my parents made me, state of California
Yeah.
made me, but like now it's like I'm doing this for me and finishing through like is such a good feeling. So I'm just proud of myself like for jumping into that and sticking to it in the midst of work and life and ministry and relationships and health, like all of it. It's a lot, you know what I mean? So I'm just proud
Absolutely.
of myself for doing it.
That's amazing. What are you going to be studying? I know you said a dual master's. What are your two duals?
Yeah, so it's a master's in education, but it's a single subject teaching credential. So I
Okay.
have my undergrad is in math, so I'm hoping to be like a high school or junior high math teacher.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, love that. Well, if you
so
need someone to like run some lessons on, I'm really terrible at math, so you could totally help
okay,
me. I'm
yeah,
like not even joking you. I was in geometry my senior year of high school because I failed algebra twice in a row and then failed geometry and then I had to retake geometry and then I got my 3 credits. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm just really bad. And I got D's in all of them.
Well, and that's a little bit of my heart right there, though, Jess, is like, and I don't know exactly like how that's impacting you now, years later, but I think there's
Yeah.
a lot of students. What I've seen is a lot of students who struggle with math, and then they think that I think they think they're dumb, you know what I
Yep.
mean, and then they
Absolutely.
don't pursue opportunities that I think they're more than capable and qualified for, because they struggle with math, and it's like if I can empower young men, and I would even say I think young women struggle with that too,
Yeah.
but both and it goes both ways, but I think empower them to be like, no, you got it, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and then like it opens so many doors for a future in STEM, a future in just so much. Like, but like it bleeds into your self worth.
Oh,
If
for
you're like,
sure.
I suck at math, then I'm dumb, and then like, what other path does that take you down? You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it seems small, but like if we can be a good teacher, you know what I mean, who really is patient with students and helps equip them to understand. That doesn't mean you got to be a mathematician, but like thrive a little bit in math, then imagine the possibilities that could come from that. And so that's a little bit of my heart of why like I want to be a
Big
math
Red
teacher because
Brendan.
our Brennan, you know what I mean?
Well, and I can just
What
already
about you?
see you a couple years from now with your master's degree, having your first teaching job as a high school math teacher, and I could just see you having so much energy to bring to a classroom, and you being patient and understanding and working with your students individually, but also as a group. Because I feel like when I was in high school, that's something we never had was you never had individual time with a teacher. It was always group lessons. It was always everything
Mhm.
done in bulk, never individual. And so when you struggled, it was almost embarrassing to try to speak up for help. So I could totally see you being just a middle ground of like running around the room, all the energy, giving all the hype to all your students, and just really being there for them. And I look forward to seeing that with you in the future. And
Yeah,
I'll be cheering you on your first day of your high school teaching career as a math
thank you.
teacher. And I'll be your test dummy. You can run all your lessons on me.
Thanks a lot.
Isn't there something you have to do in your master's? Don't quote me. I might be like dumbfounded when I say this. It's like it starts with a D. It's like it's a huge
Uh,
thing.
dissertation.
Yeah, you could use me for your dissertation. And just be like, I helped this
There
person struggling with math, and now look at her. She's the math genius.
we go.
You could do that. I don't know. Just an idea for you.
We'll see.
We'll see. You never know where it could go. All right. So I'm like, what else do I want to ask you? If you could relive one day in your life, what would it be?
Mm,
Hey,
that's a great
John.
question.
Hey, Mom. Sorry, there's people watching on Facebook, so I'm saying hi.
Hey, everybody.
And Brendan says hi.
Jess just asked me like a really hard question. I'm
I
like trying
did.
to like think
Your
through.
brain's like spinning to a million things, huh?
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I need to move that to the hard question because that's a
That is
medium
a
level.
really hard question. Really, any day?
Yeah, any day. Which one would you want to relive and why?
Can I like change things, like redo, or just relive? Because then I would go back and play Survivor SD and like do better. You know what I mean? That's what I would do.
Right? No, you can't change anything. You just relive it. Because then
You
that
know
changes
what?
everything. If you have to.
I would say there's probably a lot of different days. This probably isn't even like the right answer. You know what I'm saying? But it was a good day. I want to say my like senior ditch day in high school. We went to like Disneyland, and it was just a good day. The
Fun.
people, the people I was with were just some of my good friends, and we just had a good time, and I don't know. I just remember like, this is awesome. Like, this is the life, you know what I mean? I don't know. It was just like a good day from like start to finish. I think like even that day, if I'm remembering right, like I got up early. I'm thinking of another day too. Some good days. Just been blessed.
You
Got up
see,
early,
once
I
you
hit
start
the
thinking,
gym.
there's always
You
just
know what I
like,
mean? Back when I had like a high school, athletic body, and thought I was the guy or whatever. I don't know. It was just fun. It was a simpler time.
yeah,
So
for sure.
probably that day, probably senior ditch day.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because your senior year of high school is probably one of the most pivotal years of your life where you're becoming into you're about to embrace into this whole new adulthood, and just having that one escape where you do something bad for a day where it's not really that bad at all. Like, probably is just this. I never had, I was so absent my senior year of high school. I think I missed 51 days. So I don't even know how I passed high school, to be honest, but I never did any of the senior activities. I didn't go to senior prom. I was so depressed that senior year. I just never really did anything. But yeah, I'm happy you have that one day. And I think we need to hop into the Big Brother house, sit by their table, let us spin onto what year was your senior year again?
2018.
2018. We're going to spin back to 2018, and you're going to relive that Disneyland day by coming down here, driving for a day, and we'll go spend Disneyland together in the day. We'll go do that together. How about that? One of these days when you have money and you don't have bills to pay off. We'll save up for a day you come down here and we go to Disneyland together. I don't really know where I was going with that for a minute. I thought it was going to be like sit on the table and then Big Brother house. Well, I don't know. I was trying way too hard, but
it was great.
Before I transition into a little bit more of a personal conversation, if you could leave the world with one message, what would it be?
It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I think I gotta go with, the messages of the gospel, the good news that, the reality is like there's a problem with this world. It's that we're separated from what God originally designed. Everything was good and perfect, but then sin entered the world, and now there's this like separation between people and God, and now people and each other. Everything's broken. And God loves the world. He loves people. And so he came and he sent his son Jesus, and Jesus like took the penalty for sin on the cross, and then rose again 3 days later, and like brings this like reconciliation between God and people and other people. And that can only happen through Jesus. And he's the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through him. And that's called good news. And that's the message that changed my life. And the message that like I was empty, and Jesus like filled that void in my heart and brought that unity together. And now I want to share that with everybody. You know what I mean? Like wherever you walk through, you know what I mean? Like whatever, any story, and everybody's got stories, and I love hearing people's stories. You know what I mean? And like what their journey is and what they've walked through. But like that, the only way to be healed and redeemed and restored is like through Jesus. And so that's the message I tell people, and I would keep telling
Yeah.
people, and I'd take to my grave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Jesus saves, and he's the only one.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. My mom, she's watching on Facebook. She's supporting us. She asked me what my message would be, Jess. So I'm going to take a moment to answer because it's not very often I get people wanting to know my answers. My message would be to the world is something that my mama taught me from a very, very, very young age. It's kind of a three-parter. 1, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. 2, don't judge a book by its cover. And 3, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. And I will take those 3 things to my grave. Thank you, Mama, for teaching me that, because that is something that I just live every day of my life knowing. And anytime I'm in a hard moment where I really just want to snap off at somebody for being mean to me, I keep that in mind. I'm like, I'm not going to treat them the way I want them to, you know what I mean? So just always treating people the way you want to be treated and being kind to one another. It's so important because you never know what someone's going through behind their smile.
Yeah.
Speaking of behind the smiles, I briefly asked you off camera in our conversations before our interview if there was anything in the mental health community world that you struggle with. And you mentioned that you struggle with depression a little bit. So I wanted to transition into bringing awareness about depression. I myself struggle with depression, anxiety, and a whole heck of a lot of things, but this is not about me, it's about you. But I wanted to know if you wanted to put into your own words what depression is to you and how it affects you.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for me, like, the way I describe it to people is like I find myself like in just these funks, like it's the simple word that I like to use, where like I'm just not that same joy, that same big heart Brenden. Like it feels very like numb and more like apathetic, and even at times, because like there is a part of me that is that genuine big heart Brenden, like where it comes across more performative, you know what I mean? Like trying to perform to that like persona, because I'm in a funk and I don't feel good, you know what I mean? And maybe I feel sad and I just want to like watch a bunch of TV or eat a bunch of junk or just isolate, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of how it's like looked like for me. And it comes in waves. Like when it comes to like mental health, like things, whether it's depression or anxiety or, other types of like, illnesses, disorders, stuff like that. I've never been formally like diagnosed with anything. And I know there's some people who it's more like clinical that they've walked through. Like for me, that hasn't been clinical. It's been more like seasonal or like circumstantial. But like just waves that that I find myself going into, and they can really just take me out of the game. You know what I mean? Like kind of just keep me on the sideline for longer than I wish. And so that's kind of been like my experience. And sometimes it's provoked by, something happening, you know what I mean? Like a breakup or, like disappointments, you know what I mean? I think those things. And then sometimes they just come, you know what I mean? And I don't even know where.
Out of nowhere.
You know what I mean? I don't know where it is, but all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And I'm sure there's like, actually I know, I listen to guys like Andrew Huberman and, like neuroscientists and stuff. And I know there's like neurological things and dopamine and chemicals and balances and stuff and off balances that happen. So I don't know the science or whatever behind it, you know what I mean? But I know I feel it, you know what I mean? And so I think that's been kind of my experience that I found myself in, where I find myself just in funks or even in really just like unhealthy spirals that you can even lead to like addictive type, binging and bleeds into all sorts of things. So that's kind of been my journey. I don't know if I clearly, I think the way I define depression is funk, you know what I mean? Like that's the best way I use it in my circles. So
there's a reason why we're a final two and that we have this kind of weird like distancing between each other. Just for the viewers to know, he messaged me this morning as I picked up my phone to message him to reschedule the time at 6 p.m. because Big Brother's coming on tonight. As I pull up my message, he sends me the message. And I was like, ew, why did we just do that? Like, we were just so in sync. Final two for a reason. Anytime someone asks me, what is depression to you? I say a funk. It's just something you can't describe into words. You just feel funky. You just feel out of yourself and out of sorts. And no matter what you do, nothing seems to really help. So what's something you do to help yourself when you're in that funky feeling? And part one of that, do you recognize a sign? We'll go to part one first. Sorry. Do you recognize the signs of a funk coming on before it comes on? Or do you not realize that you're in a funk until you're in a funk?
Yeah, I think it's more right now the latter, or it's like, oh shoot, I'm in it. But I've gotten better. Like you know, I give myself grace, and I think everybody, like, whatever their struggles with mental health and stuff is, like, should give yourself grace. Like, it's a learning process, and if you're committed to, you know, trying to continue to grow and heal and better yourself, then, like, it's okay. You got all the grace and time in the world. And so I think it's something that like, I'm not feeling shame if, like, you know, oh shoot, I just fell into it. But when I get out of those funks, I try to be self-reflective and introspective of, like, okay, what were there patterns or things that have, like, led into that? And so I think that's actually a really good question you asked, Jess. So I think I've gotten better, but it's still maybe like 70 times I'm like, oh shoot, I'm here. And like 70-30, and 30% of the time I'm like, okay, wait, I can feel maybe, like, you know, the storms of brewing, or like an onset of similar patterns. And I'm a math guy, so I like patterns. And to me, it's like, to me, it's helpful to be able to identify it. And then sometimes maybe, like, maybe within that 30% of, like, when I catch it, maybe another 70-30 of 70% of the times it's like, well, I still fall into it. And then maybe those other 30% of that, I can be able to just, okay, in the words of my sister, clock it, you know, clock it, and be able to then, oh wait, I'm okay. Like, this is a familiar slope. I don't want to go this way. Choose truth and make healthier decisions. So yeah, I think
part two to that question. When you don't catch it before it happens, you forget to catch your feelings, you caught the feelings, now you're in the thick of the thick, and you're down in the yucky feeling of, why am I drawing a blank? What did you call it?
A funk or depression?
A funk, there we go. I called it the yuck, and it's a 4-letter word, so my brain calls it a funk.
Yeah.
So you're in the funky, yucky feeling of depression. Yeah. So what are some things that you do for yourself to help yourself out of that funk? And what do you do when you're in the funk to kind of make sure it doesn't get worse?
Well, Jess, I wish I could tell you I was a pro. And
no, it's okay. I
have like this, like, solution, you know. I don't. Maybe this is relatable to you or to some other people. Like,
That's all it's about, is being relatable.
Even for me, I'll speak for myself. When I'm in those spots, I may know exactly what I need to do to get out, but you just don't want to get out, or it feels so hard to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to, like, it's easier to just, like, stay and linger in that place rather than just, like, even if I have the solution, it doesn't necessarily mean I take it. And I wish I would just take it more, because then when I usually do, then it's like, all right, we're good. Why was I tripping? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So some things that, like, I have found that have helped me. Was that part of your question?
Yes, but real quick before you move on, I do want to just, like, highlight on that feeling that you're feeling. That feeling of just, like, I want to get out of it, but I don't. I want to sit in it. That's what a lot of people don't understand about depression, is it just takes the life out of you. You don't have joy. You have to force yourself to feel things. Like, you have to force yourself just to get through the day in those kind of moments where you're just like, I just want to lay in bed and ignore the world today. But you can't, because you've got a job, you got a family, you know what I mean? You've got your wall. It depends on the circumstances. Everybody has different things going on in their lives, but that's why I say it's so important to be kind to people, because you just never know what they're going through. And one wrong thing can really send someone down a spiral of, you know what I mean? Like, just be nice. If you have something you need to say, go say it to someone else. Don't say it to the person. Like, there's no need for that whatsoever. But I think it's
Well, and
important for myself to sit in those feelings sometimes, because then I can address the feelings that I'm feeling and
mm,
then move on. Whereas if I
mm,
try to get off of the icky feeling too quickly, I'm not understanding why I'm on the icky feeling.
mm,
So
yeah.
I feel you on that. Everything that you said, it's so relatable. But what's something you really do to get yourself out when you're like, okay, I sat in the feelings, I felt myself, the feelings that I'm feeling, I kind of am understanding where I'm at. What do you do to get out from rock bottom?
Totally.
What's your go-to thing?
Well, and I think so. So a couple of factors. One, I think when you're in the funk,
Mm-hmm.
then it's really hard to get yourself out. So you
Yeah.
almost like need to get have like systems to get you out that are outside of you,
Yeah.
so that when you're in, those systems outside of you get you out. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So to
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit, one major realization that I've had, and this even ties a lot into like like my faith and stuff like that. But like I believe that we are holistic beings, and
Yep.
so we are we are mind, body, soul. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so we obviously there's a mental connection, but like our mental health bleeds into our physical health, which
Yep.
bleeds into our spiritual health, which bleeds into our emotional health.
Yep.
And in the Bible, even Jesus talks about that. Love God with all your heart. That's your emotional, right? Your mind. That's obviously your mental. Your
Yeah.
soul. It's your spiritual, and your strength. That's your physical, right? Like so, like all those things are intertwined because we are those beings. And so with that, I know for me, when I eat Jack in the Crack, and I eat a bunch of junk and processed junk food, you know what I mean, and I don't move my body, then
Yeah.
I feel like junk because you are what
Yeah.
you eat, right?
Yeah.
And then now I'm really not in a sober state of mind, right? Like now my mindset's all out of sorts, and then you know what I mean. And then now those feelings come on, you know what I mean. And then the last thing I want to do is go work out and exercise, and working out and exercise really helps with the endorphins and the serotonin and all those like healthy brain chemicals that like that's happy, like the happy drug or whatever, you know what I mean, like the happy
Yeah.
chemicals, like the dopamine, like the healthy dopamine, right? And so
Yeah.
like and then but right when I'm physically unhealthy, then I'm mentally unhealthy, which then right the Bible says to be alert and of sober mind because the enemy is prowling like a lion ready to devour, meaning if I'm not mentally healthy, like then I'm definitely not spiritually healthy, and then my heart's way effed up, and then I'm definitely not emotionally healthy, and so like
Yeah.
all these bleed together, and so but that works both ways, right? It can snowball either way. So when I'm
Yeah.
when I'm eating healthy and I'm exercising and I'm being in community and I'm in prayer and I'm thinking positive things and I'm like they all bleed together and affect
Yeah.
one another, and so it can go both directions. And so what I've
True.
found for me, and something I'm like super thankful for, is like I'm very thankful for like really like my church community is like super helpful for me because like my pastor who's like he's like my dad and like my mentor, like he makes me go like get my butt and go to the gym, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he won't let me like not